The dark side of empathy, when caring hurts your brain. Have you ever felt so deeply for someone else's pain that it felt like your own? Like their suffering wasn't just something you observed, but something you absorbed. It's a strange, almost magical thing called empathy. The ability to put yourself in another's shoes, to feel what they feel. It's one of humanity's greatest gifts. But what if I told you that this gift can sometimes be a curse? That empathy, taken too far, can literally hurt your brain and body. Let's see the shadowy underside of empathy. A place where caring too much leads to emotional exhaustion, physical pain, and what scientists call empathy overload. When you see someone in distress, certain parts of your brain light up as if you were experiencing their pain yourself. Neuroscientists have identified specific areas like the anterior insula and the anterior cingulate cortex that activate both when you experience pain firsthand and when you witness someone else's suffering. This mirroring mechanism is the biological basis of empathy. But wait, here's what you need to know. Your brain doesn't always distinguish perfectly between your own feelings and the feelings you're absorbing from others. Sometimes the emotional boundary between self and other blurs so much that you start living someone else's pain. Imagine you work as a caregiver, therapist, or social worker, professions built on empathy. You spend every day exposed to stories of trauma, loss, and hardship. Over time, constantly tuning into others' pain without adequate self-protection can lead to what experts call empathy fatigue or compassion fatigue. What happens then? Your brain remains stuck in a state of heightened emotional arousal. You become overwhelmed by others' distress. Instead of feeling compassion and warmth, you feel drained, numb, or even hostile. This is emotional burnout, a psychological state where your capacity to empathize is compromised because you've taken on too much suffering. On the neurological level, prolonged empathy overload can literally rewire your brain. Research shows that chronic exposure to others' pain can lead to changes in the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for emotional regulation and decision-making. In some cases, it shrinks. The brain's ability to manage emotional stress diminishes. This can result in increased anxiety, depression, and a diminished ability to connect with others, ironically because you cared too deeply. Even more fascinating or alarming is the role of the brain's pain networks. When empathy overload occurs, the brain's pain circuits may remain hyperactive, causing physical sensations of pain, even without any actual injury. Yes, physical pain. A groundbreaking study found that people who score higher on empathy tests also report more intense physical pain when observing others in pain. In extreme cases, emotional exhaustion can manifest as headaches, muscle tension, or chronic fatigue. The mind and body are inseparable, and emotional overload can literally translate into physical suffering. So what does this mean for us as individuals and as a society? On one hand, empathy drives cooperation, kindness, and community. But on the other hand, in an age of constant connectivity, endless social media, 24/7 news cycles filled with human tragedies, we are bombarded with other people's suffering like never before. This constant influx can overwhelm our emotional systems. Many people today suffer from what could be called empathy burnout, feeling helpless, numb, or apathetic. Not because they don't care, but because they care too much. Scientists now emphasize the importance of emotional boundaries, not shutting down empathy, but regulating it. This means recognizing where your emotions end and another's begin. Mindfulness practices, self-compassion, and even specific therapies like compassion-focused therapy teach people how to hold space for others' pain without letting it consume them. This regulation allows empathy to become sustainable, a source of connection and healing rather than harm. Here's the paradox. Empathy is essential for human connection, yet it can push us toward emotional collapse if not managed wisely. The people we rely on, doctors, therapists, activists, often face the greatest risk of empathy burnout. It's vital we acknowledge this not as weakness, but as a human cost of caring deeply in a world filled with suffering. So next time you feel overwhelmed by the pain of others, remember, your brain is doing something extraordinary, absorbing emotions as if they were your own. But to truly help and to stay whole yourself, you must learn to balance empathy with boundaries, connection with self-care, because empathy, in all its power, is not just about feeling others. It's about knowing when to hold those feelings and when to let them go.